Let me tell you a little something about the guy you see right here. His name was John Mast. He was a father out of North Dakota. He was alienated just like millions of other fathers across the United States of America. He had faced false allegations. For 3 years, he fought this alienation and these false accusations inside of family law courts. Last May, he was exonerated and proved that he didn't do the things that he was accused of. It wasn't until December he found out when he was going to be able to see his kids. Now, this past Thanksgiving, we have the show Dad Talk Today that talks to fathers like John. And we was hoping nobody would need that show, but on the holidays, it's a very hard time for these types of parents.
Many fathers out there nationwide now facing injustices as the legislature in their states continue to separate them further and further from their kids, plus forcing them into paying thousands and thousands of dollars in support and typically sometimes never even seeing their kids. Eric's podcast is growing. He's now reaching millions of fathers across the nation. He's trying to hear and expose their problems and their struggles of what they're dealing with in the broken court system. And that's what it is. We've all heard about crooked judges, crooked DAs, whether we're talking about family court or on the criminal side, there's corruption in our court system, okay? Point blank, there it is. Eric joins me now to discuss his mission and his podcast further. Eric, thanks for coming on the program. First time, I did not know about Dad Talk until a couple days ago. And I'm a divorcee. I am co-parenting with my ex, my 13-year-old, and we have been in the court system a couple times to deal with support and visitation and whatever. Now, I can say at least the court system I worked with and my attorney told me seemed pretty fair, but that's not the case in every court system in each state. What have you found in your kind of research in getting your podcast ready? Where are some of the main bubbles? Are there certain states and certain cities where we see more corrupt family court systems than others?
Oh, definitely. You know, California has definitely got a major eye on it right now. Of course, New York. We went up there to the Capitol, tried to get in touch with the legislators. Nobody called us back. That had never happened before. Usually we get several different phone calls back. Georgia, here where I live, It's a very corrupt system. You got some states, Arkansas passed a 50-50 bill earlier this year, which is going to give 50-50 custody to mom and dad upon divorce or breaking up. So there are some states that are correcting this. Kentucky did in 2018. In the first year that was enacted, domestic violence went down 30%. Now,
wow.
That's some pretty big numbers. Now, think about this. I don't know that domestic violence went down, but the accusation of domestic violence, because that is thrown out so much and it gives the person the upper hand the second that they throw out this accusation.
Right. I've heard that. I've had some buddies who've gone through that. And the first thing that, and again, this could be male to female or female to male, mom to dad. Or I'm not saying it's only the mothers that say it, but you immediately get accusations if it's a bitter divorce of, abuse of the kids or abuse of me or drug use or whatever. And they could be false allegations, never proven. But a lot of these courts seem to immediately go, okay, and then side with that party that made the claims. And in a lot of cases, like you said, it's the dad on the receiving end of that who then gets little to no visitation with a massive payment. And again, I'm not excusing the deadbeats and the scumbags. There are plenty of fathers out there that do not toe the line, hold their own, and step up and are a good parent. And to them, well, I've got words for them I can't say here. I'll say offline to you. But if you're a good father and you're trying to be a parent, then there shouldn't be any judge, any court system that gets in the way of that.
You're definitely right. There are deadbeat fathers out there. There are some deadbeat mothers. There's people that don't need to be in their children's life. But we should have that starting point of equality. I mean, equality is talked about every day in so many different subjects. You can't have equality when somebody has a majority. There was a U.S. Census Bureau report back in 2014 that showed that 82.5% of the time, dad's going to be without custody, and that's 1 out of every 6 fathers that are getting custody. In the case that you showed right before I came on, John Mast, that was a father that had been fighting for 3 years that had faced false allegations. Now, they had video evidence that they showed. He didn't do any of the things that he was accused of. And when he went to pick up his kid this past February, after being on our show 2 months prior,
He was shot by his ex-father-in-law 3 times and killed. I mean, there's parents that are losing their lives over this. There are kids that are losing their lives, and the legislature really needs to wake up. This is a big problem that mainstream media won't touch.
Well, we're not mainstream media, so
No,
we
you're
touch
not.
all subjects, and we keep it real. I want to ask you about COVID, and because we had so many, I've had people on the show over the past year discussing how different parents, whether it be the male or the female, right? Or I guess it could be male to male or female to female. Don't want to exclude same-sex couples. See, right. I'm fair, unlike the mainstream. Unlike the mainstream. But I hear they used COVID. You know, oh, she's not making him wear a mask, so I need to have custody to keep him safe. Oh, I know this is the argument coming right now with parents that are divorced. Oh, the vax is going to be approved for under 13 soon. I'm going to make sure he or she gets it. Then the other parents, no, it's experimental. My kid's not getting it. And now, boom, you have a fight. They go to court, and judges are then siding with the pro-mask, pro-vax, you know, fear-mongering type judges who are like, okay, and they yank the kid away from dad or mom who's going, no, I want my kid to breathe and live free.
And I've got more of those cases that have been reaching out just because they didn't want their kid to wear a mask, that they take their kids away from them. It can be any little thing. COVID, I said, was the best gift an alienator could have ever got because it gave them a reason to say, hey, look, they don't need to be over there. They got to quarantine or, you know, what have you. What we're talking about here is simple. Kids need both parents. And we should be protecting that right, especially now with the indoctrination that you got in our education system, the indoctrination and the entertainment system. The one thing we've got to fight back with that is parents. And if we don't have a strong family, we're not going to have a strong nation. It's time to wake up, man. This is the real pandemic, Dan.
There you go. That's why I said it. I'd consider this a pandemic. We have broken apart the family, taken out God and discipline. We don't want the traditional nuclear family. And again, I'm not coming down on any same sex or that. I'm just saying, what was wrong with the way we were doing it for decades when mom and dad and 2 kids and the picket fence and the doggy and the kitty all in one house? And yes, both can work. I'm not, because I know what the left does this when I make these comments. They'll be like, he wants traditional, put the woman back barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and wants men in charge. I'm not saying that, you idiots, but that's what they'll do with this clip. Mom can work, dad can work. And then they juggle that professional career with family time with the kids and raise them in a home. And if you get divorced, then get along and co-parent. Because as you said, they need both. If they want to check out the podcast, Dad Talk, Eric, where do they go?
They can go to Facebook, YouTube. We're also on Clout Hub, a new social media platform out there that's trying to protect your right to free speech. But if you just Google us up, you know, we're on several different websites, and we'd be glad to have you.
Good for you. Eric Carroll, host of Dad Talk. Thanks for coming on the program. Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks.